Did y'all miss me? Because I surely did miss you. And now that my voice is back, y'all are done. That BH Cosmetics Capricorn palette was a hate crime against Capricorns, so we're redesigning it. Hello beautiful people, hi, my name is Mia and this is my virtual vanity, and you probably forgot about me because I have been missing in action, which very fitting considering my name, you know, MIA. But I have been literally missing in action. I have been just incredibly sick for the past week and a half, like literally had no voice. I sounded like Matthew McConaughey, how the fuck do you pronounce his name? That dude in Interstellar after 50 packets of cigarettes, and like towards the end I sounded like the meanest, baddest, scariest Sith Lord on this side of the galaxy, which, to be honest, an aesthetic in the mood. But nonetheless, I am back offering you trash quality content. Today, I'm actually collabing with one of my good Instagram friends, and then we also became friends on YouTube because we were like, wait, shit, you're that person, and we were like, yeah, I'm that person. And it's amazing the many pathways that life takes you where you meet again other people that you thought you knew. Let me tell you about this wonderful lady that I am friends with. Her name here and on Instagram is MaskaraCakes. And let me tell you why I like her. First of all, she's a grown-ass woman. A household to run, with kids to raise, with a husband to like tame and house train. I don't know, what do you do with a husband? I wouldn't know. I really love that she is this grown-ass woman that has a very complex and busy life, because family life is busy outside of YouTube and Instagram, and she takes the time to enjoy herself and her vanity a bit, because let's be honest, we are all vain and a bit narcissistic to be here. She just takes the time to feel herself and to experiment with makeup. Like, she is no copper eye, nude lip basic bitch. We decided to do some palette redesigns because I'm a fucking hater and I love being a hater. So we are gonna hate on 3 palettes, 2 that already exist and another one that's not even there yet. And we are going to redesign the BH Cosmetics Capricorn palette, which you wait until I get to that. And the BH Cosmetics Future Aquarius palette, which if they fuck up, they're gonna catch these hands. Aquarius here represent, and we may be huge, misunderstood, melancholic assholes, but we deserve better than some bland shit. And the BH Sultry, which lots of people hated, but then slowly got hypnotized by the Anastasia logo and started to love for pretty legitimate reasons. Not gonna say they're not. So I am going to try to move a bit, and I'm gonna pop over there the images, more or less photoshopped, of what I would like the palettes to look like. Honestly, I hope you can't tell how dirty my couch is because my cats love to sleep on it, and it's like a velvety sort of material, and it's a catch for magnet, and I really can't vacuum right now because it's like 11 a.m. and no, p.m. sorry, that's p.m. and it's like 11 p.m. and my neighbors are asleep and I don't want to be that guy in the neighborhood. Let's start with the BH Cosmetics Capricorn palette, which was a hate crime against Capricorns. I'm sorry, but it was. My boyfriend is a Capricorn, so I might be biased, but the loving terror that he instills in me every single day does not match the bland, unseasoned bullshit that BH Cosmetics pulled on us. Disclaimer: I don't believe in the zodiac, but I like it. It's fun, woo-woo. I don't care if it's not real. It's fun. Let's just have fun. let's just leave science at the door for a bit, especially for something as harmless as this, and let's continue with me trashing this palette. So as far as I know, Capricorns are pretty steady people, but steady does not mean boring. My boyfriend is very steady, he's very dependable, he is really grounded, which makes sense because Capricorn is an earth sign. But earth doesn't mean dirt toned palettes, bro. You can be a very grounded person and still be incredibly interesting, like my boyfriend is. And so I chose a mix of greens and browns and regular tones without like a shift, and duochromes, because fuck it, Capricorns are dual. They are both a ground sign and fucking interesting people, so give them something fucking interesting, BH Cosmetics. Let me tell you about the shades I chose, and in all of these redesigns I will mention a few singles that I feel would match the shade that I had in mind. Now, I'm not the single shadow encyclopedia. If you don't like my suggestions, you might as well just take a look at the picture and eyeball it, and maybe think of something that you would enjoy in another formula. I'm just giving suggestions. So, I'm going to start with a metallic khaki green, which I feel would make a great lid shade for like darker, earthier toned looks. And that would be something like Neve Cosmetics Retro, for example. Then we continue into a green-brown duochrome, something like Neve Cosmetics Veleno, which I have and absolutely adore, or Colourpop Sideline. Now, these types of shades are nice because they can be popped in the center of the lid for a halo eye to add a bit of a visual interest. You can use them all over the lid in the morning if you are feeling like you don't want to do a complicated look. And because the more you blend them in, the more the brown base comes out, you are left with a bit of a green shimmer on the lid and then the brown satin sort of base in the crease, which makes it look like a way more complicated look than it has any right to be. Then I want a shimmery light green, something like NYX Bewitched, which I have and absolutely love, or Igneous Cosmetics Olivine, which is a bit less shimmery and darker than NYX Bewitched, but it's still in the sort of family of witchy type of greens that I absolutely adore. Then I want a white to green duochrome, which would be a great inner corner accent, or a lid shade, or even an eyebrow accent if you want, like the shade that you put over here in that place. I don't know how it's called. Maybe something like Nabla Zoe or Zoe, or however the hell they pronounce that. Then I'm going to add a metallic basic mid-tone beige. I'm not even gonna suggest a single for that. You can find them literally everywhere. Any brand that offers singles, I'm sure they have a medium toned shimmery beige, which I feel would work well as a lid shade, as an inner corner highlight, as a brow bone highlight. That was what it was called, a brow bone. As a beautiful lazy day look, you just put that all over the lid. That's nice. Or you can deepen it out with the dark chocolate brown matte that I chose as my last shade in this redesign. And why did I choose this shade? It goes with everything else in the palette. You can put any other of the metallic or duochrome shades on the lid, then deepen it out with this one. You can put it out more sheer to have a crease color, or you can put it like really pack it in for a deepening shade. So I would probably make this a formula that is someplace in the middle between Anastasia and MAC. So buildable but a bit pigmented, more pigmented than the MAC is at an initial pass, but not as much as an Anastasia, where you would feel overwhelmed by the pigmentation if you were a newbie. Then there's my sign, which is an Aquarius, and I did search for Aquarius Capricorn compatibility, and that's truly what convinced me that the horoscope is bullshit, aside from the, you know, scientific evidence that it's not a scientific method of determining personality. But whatever, because it says that Capricorns and Aquariuses are not compatible, like not really. And I'm like, bro, you obviously have never been in a relationship that values independency and trust and just overall affection without needliness, without clinginess. I read a book by Rilke. He's a German author, and the guy just does not know what a fucking period is. He just loves his commas, and it's really hard to go through his books, even translated, because it's just one long run-on sentence. But regardless, so I was reading this book by Rilke. It was like a collection of his writings, and a quote really stood out to me that said that love is being the keeper of each other's solitude. And that really resonated with me and my relationship, and the relationship that I feel Aquariuses and Capricorns have, where they both kind of ground each other and energize each other and enjoy each other's presence, while also respecting the individuality of each other as a person. Kind of like how it is in my relationship. And I'm just gonna stop talking about my relationship because enough. I'm just being overly sappy. But still, I thought that was a really, really nice quote. But I digress. Let's get to the Aquarius palette design, which is probably gonna come out sometimes in late February. I don't know. It's not out yet. But I swear to God, if they fuck this up, I will ground their bones into the dust and offer them as a sacrifice to the goddess Freya. The shades that I chose for Aquarius, and I did not Photoshop them because I got lazy, but still, I want a blue-black matte, something like Nabla Baltic. Then near it, I want a blue-purple matte, which would be lighter than the almost black blue matte that I spoke earlier. Something like Neve Cosmetics Shock Single. Then I want a warm purple matte, Nabla Eresia maybe. A purple to turquoise duochrome to go with the aquatic magical sort of mood that we have going on. And that would be Nabla Alchemy, my one true love, my precious. Then I want a shimmery tropical blue, which would be Nabla Virgin Island. Now, let me tell you a bit about these choices so far. So you've got those three mattes, yeah? The dark blue, the blue purple, and then the warmer purple shade. So you can do an all matte look with these, or you can pop any of the other shades that I will mention in the lid. So you can pop Nabla Alchemy on the lid, and you can make a nice look out of Nabla Alchemy and Nabla Eresia, so out of the duochrome that has a purple shift, a purple base or whatever, and then the purple in the crease. Or you can put the duochrome on the lid and put the blue on the crease, which is gonna bring out the turquoise shift that you find in the duochrome itself. Then we're gonna continuing that tropical blue that goes well with all of the mattes mentioned above, all of those types of mattes, and not only those singles specifically, but those shades. Then I want a matte electric blue, because I feel, for no other reason, that I feel that there aren't many of those and well done in palettes, and because I'm still scarred after how bad the matte electric blue in the Poison Garden palette was. Like, the rest of the palette, loved it. That blue, what the fuck were they thinking? Then I want a lilac shade with a sort of a bluish undertone, maybe something like Looxi Cherub? I think it's Cherub. Like, there are some words, I swear to God, that I've read so many times and I know how to use them and I know how to put them in context. I can write a whole novel around such words. And yet, when it comes to pronouncing them, I'm like sometimes I really do think that there is truth in the saying that English just took out other languages in Europe, put them in an alley, beat them up, and just stole all of their loose linguistic change. Because it just fucking makes no goddamn sense sometimes. And that was it for my Aquarius redesign. And I chose these palettes because Aquarius is a water sign. We are mercurial, we are sometimes cold, sometimes incredibly passionate. We have hidden depths. We can be huge assholes because of those hidden depths. As I said, it's fun woo-woo. Let me enjoy the fun woo-woo. Now let's get to Sultry, which I did not change that much actually. And if you want to redo the palette, and maybe because you like how I came up with my shades, Angela Marie Tanner has posts about some very nice dupes you can find for the shades in Sultry, all in single format, and I'm gonna link that down below in my description box so you can actually take a look at that. And if you want to dupe it out or have certain shades, you can check out her post and get those. So the first thing that I changed in Sultry was the packaging, which does not thematically fit with any of the other packaging that Anastasia has done. Anastasia Beverly Hills, in the past couple of years, they've primarily done felt packaging, which a lot of people complain that it's hard to clean, and to that I say Scotch tape. Just put a bit of tape on top of the packaging itself, pull, and you've got all of the dirt taken out. This works really well with clothing and cat hair too. That's how I know this trick. But I want to keep the felt packaging because felt and velvet and silk and all of these types of fabrics, they remind me of sultriness and warmth, and like not felt, but like the velvety felt in the Anastasia packaging, that I really dig as a sultry type of texture. So we go from that glittery packaging to the velvety packaging, and I also want to change the color because I also changed a bit of the colors inside, and as such these sort of pinkish towards blood red shade that I chose for the packaging I think is going to go really well thematically with some of the shades that I chose inside. It can be argued that we could change also the shade names, but I'm lazy. Let's talk first row of the palette. So the first row of the palette, I want to keep the first three the same. I feel they're okay shades and they will work perfectly fine with whatever else I have in mind. Rose Quartz, I am making more pink because I feel that a pink smoky eye will always feel sultry yet playful. Not femme fatale, but a woman that knows what she wants and will play with you for it. But like not eat you afterwards like a black widow. You get what I mean. So this shade would be something like Looxi Piece of My Heart or Colourpop Pinky Promise, maybe. And then Ember, I'm making a much darker copper shade, which could be used either all over the lid, or you could use Rose Quartz, my modified version, on the first 2/3 of the lid, and then Ember and the last third to deepen things out really nicely on the lid. And that would be something like Luxie Beauty Ruby Rain. Then I'm keeping Bloom as is because I love the shade. I love pinks. I'm a sucker for pink. I'm just gonna keep the pink. Fucking sue me. I'm gonna add more pink to it too. Birch, I'm going to give it a bit of a darker undertone. So I'm gonna make it darker, a more chocolatey but warm reddish brown. because I feel that it would work with the last couple of pink shades to create that pink smoky eye that I keep talking about, but also as a deepening shade for other combos in the palette, as well as a brown liner. We've got the second row. So Cinder, I'm making a pink to copper duochrome because I am a duochrome whore and I need to have a duochrome in every palette. It's the law. Twig, and keeping the same. It's gonna be really easy to just take whatever shimmery shade, then pop Twig in the crease, and or maybe something a bit darker, and then you would have your complete look for when you don't want to do anything more complex. Geek, I'm making much darker. So it's gonna be a darker brown and able to go with the other gold, brownish, copperish tones that I mentioned to create a brown sort of smoky eye, which I absolutely adore because on brown eyes, it just makes them look like amazing pools of chocolate. Makes them look very warm, very beckoning. While on lighter eyes, so hazel eyes, green eyes, blue eyes, the more dark it gets, this brown smoky eye, the more they look like the eyes of a jungle cat and aesthetic. Last four I'm keeping as they are. I actually like the black. I actually like that silver shade. I find it to be a very particularly pretty shade of silver, and it would go well with the browns, with the pinks that I edited. I feel that I managed to edit it a bit to be a bit more special while keeping it cohesive. I'm not saying that the Sultry palette was a poorly designed palette. People clearly love it for a reason. I would just love it more like this, and it's just personal preference. Okay guys, these were my redesigns. I'm going to list everything down below. So shades I mentioned, singles I mentioned, I'm gonna list down below. I'm also going to link MaskaraCakes video itself and her channel, and go and check her out, or else. I'm done. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for sticking with me and seeing what my ideas were for these palettes. Don't forget to check out my beautiful friend, and don't forget, most important of all, have a nice day, evening, morning, whatever it is where you're from. Thank you guys so much. Bye.